Almost 44% of my last 25,000 kilometers were driven with the combustion engine completely off, zero emissions. But what happens when that engine actually turns on? Is the E-TECH engine efficient, or is it secretly burning way more fuel to charge the battery? I analyzed 4.25 million OBD data points to find out. Welcome back to episode 26 of the 1 million kilometer Bigster project. In this episode, I'm diving deep into telemetry to answer a question some of you have asked. How efficient is the internal combustion engine on its own? And how much work is the hybrid system actually doing? Before I analyze the numbers, I need to address the raw dataset and account the missing logs. Since installing the OBD logging system on April 4th, the telemetry adapter has captured a total of 25,740 kilometers. By the time of editing this video, my odometer reached 56,417 kilometers. That leaves a gap of 9,864 unlogged kilometers due to three main factors. First, when my wife drives the vehicle without the phone application connected, no telemetry data is recorded. Second, during the initial setup phase, early configuration files lacked essential parameters, and I had to discard them to protect data integrity. Third, a complete OBD reconfiguration in June resulted in 20 consecutive days of unlogged driving. Despite these gaps, more than 25,000 kilometers and over 4.25 million data points provided a statistically solid baseline to evaluate real-world hybrid dynamics. Out of those 4.25 million logged data points, only 1% registered exactly 0 kilowatt of traction battery power. That represents a moment where the battery was neither discharging to assist propulsion, nor receiving energy through regenerative braking or engine charging. What does this mean in real world? It proves that the E-TECH hybrid management system is continuously active. Out of those rare zero power moments, the vast majority occurred while the vehicle was completely stationary, at zero speed and zero fuel consumption. These fractions seem to represent micro-transitional phases where the multimodal dogbox switches between pure electric mode and internal combustion mode. The battery is almost never passive while the car is moving. Let us break down how those 25,740 kilometers were actually driven. First, pure electric mode. I logged 11,298 kilometers in EV mode, which accounts for 43.89% of all logged telemetry. That means almost 44% of my total logged distance was covered without burning a single drop of fuel. Second, the charging mode. I logged 11,602 kilometers in this state. The recorded average fuel consumption for this mode was 8.81 liters per 100 kilometers or 32.06 UK miles per gallon. In this mode, the combustion engine drives the vehicle while simultaneously turning the high voltage starter generator to recharge the traction battery. Third, the discharging mode. I logged 2,555 kilometers in this state, resulting in a consumption of 8.63 liters per 100 kilometers or 32.73 UK miles per gallon. Here, both the electric motor and the combustion engine work together at the wheel simultaneously during sustained acceleration or high load conditions. My original objective for this analysis was to isolate the combustion engine and calculate its standalone efficiency. I wanted to answer a simple question. If I strip away the hybrid assistance, what is the raw consumption of the 1.8 liter engine pulling a full-size SUV? Before even starting the test, I realized this is practically impossible to reproduce. The E-TECH powertrain architecture simply cannot operate as a purely conventional internal combustion engine. The vehicle always launches from dead stop in pure electric mode. Over 80% of all driving under 30 km per hour is handled exclusively by the electric motor. This completely eliminates peak fuel load. Heavy acceleration are often supported by electric torque. The engine never experienced high load, low RPM stress from a standstill, which is historically where gas engine burn the most fuel. Because I cannot manually force the system into a 100% mechanical mode, isolating the engine is impossible. However, the numbers speak for themselves. The overall hybrid system consumes about 55% of what a traditional petrol vehicle would burn under identical conditions. Context is critical when evaluating these figures. My logged route distribution stands at 10.7% urban driving, 62.7% national B roads, and 26.6% highway and autobahn driving. A driver doing 80% of city commuting would see a different percentage of EV distance and average fuel consumption. You might also notice a discrepancy between the 4.88 liters per 100 kilometers logged in this telemetry dataset versus my 5.45 liters per 100 kilometers overall lifetime average presented when reached 50,000 kilometers. The reason for this delta is the seasonal variance. This specific OBD dataset covers April onwards and excludes the harsh winter period between December and March we had in Romania. During winter, the fuel consumption increases noticeably because the combustion engine must run more frequently to generate thermal energy for cabin heating and engine block warm-up. I will publish a complete 12-month average fuel consumption cycle once I log a full year of seasonal data to show exactly how ambient temperature impacts efficiency. The takeaway from 25,000 kilometers of deep telemetry is clear. The E-Tech system does not just assist the engine, it completely redefines how fuel is utilized. By eliminating low-speed engine load and capturing kinetic energy, it turns what would be an 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers engine or more into a sub 5 liters per 100 kilometers real-world performer. This week is my last week in Sweden, so starting my trip back to Romania for the 60,000 kilometers planned maintenance. Really looking forward to that, as the service center allows recording of the oil sample collection and the laboratory awaits me to deliver them. Are the results going to make me change the initial maintenance plan to be able to reach the 1 million kilometer milestone? Stay with me to see what comes next. For the next minutes you can enjoy some road driving with the OBD data in real time while leaving Stockholm from the city center until reaching the highway. Thank you for watching. Drive safe, and I'll see you in the next one.